You saw how Topsy Priest works when Falcone beat someone else recently on the Monday show.
Yeah, who was that?
On his mobile, making like million boars. But the Mechathune Priest is... I'll get a smile and a nod from that one. A bit more complicated of a combo, if that's even possible.
Is it? Do you really think so?
It's harder to invent, I think.
Okay,
all right,
so
it's more simple.
Really? Okay, so I would, like, just looking at both decks, I would say that the Topsy-Turvy Priest, whoever came up with that, which I think might have been Trump originally, I think is far more complex in what it actually does. I'm sure you viewers at home already know how these combos work. The Topsy Priest, of course, you are just generating boars, then using Vivid Nightmares, etc., just to make them make several boars that are wide because of Topsy, and you're using your Divine Spirits and all of that jazz. And you will see the fun unfold if Romania do manage to get that combo first. But on the other side, we've got the Mechathune Priest, which is all about getting right to the end of your deck, making sure you draw through everything. That is often helped by Hemet, because it destroys all the cards that are irrelevant for the combo. And then you have your 4 combo pieces, well, 5 if you include Mechathune, the Reckless Experimenter, the Coffin Crusher, and then 2 of the Ticking Abominations. And basically what happens is, if you play them in the right order, everything just blows itself up and you win the game.
That sounds good.
It does sound good, but it's whether they can get there before Romania find their combo. I mean, typically, Topsy-Turvy Priest can win on, what, turn 7 or turn 9?
Yeah, they're the 2 turns. You tend to aim for the turn 9 kill, especially these days when people have slowed it down. Just going to check the build, but I'm pretty sure that they will be playing Giggling Inventor. It wasn't in the original build, but I know that it was something...
No, they're not playing any Giggling Inventors.
They're not good, because RDU was the first person to really try that, I believe. And I didn't like it. I found it cluttered up the hand a little bit too much.
Well, I feel like with what you're trying to beat with the Topsy Priest is you are just beating outright control decks. And the Giggling Inventor doesn't really serve that same purpose. You want to just be drawing through your deck. The Giggling Inventor is there to help you stall against aggro, but I mean, if you are just hoping that you're going to find one of these control matchups, why do you even put it in your deck? So I like this from Romania.
Yes, particularly in a tournament like this, I agree. But even normally, you're trying to buy yourself more time with it. But you've also got to play it, because if you go more than 3 cards, the combo becomes more difficult, because you draw 7 a lot of the time from the third Topsy, one of the Topsies. And having this thing you've got to throw onto the board, sometimes, even though it slows your opponents down, it means it takes you longer to get to your combo.
And I have always found it extremely intriguing in these kind of matchups. Like, are you keeping your combo pieces? Are you throwing them away and trying to find your draw cards instead? I mean, what's your preference? Do you like keeping some of those core combo pieces, or would you rather be searching for them with draw?
So in general, you do want the draw, but there are a lot of combo pieces out there. So some of them can be used as defensive measures, and it really depends what you are up against. But getting your draw, thinning your deck, going through everything quickly is absolutely crucial. If you are only playing one of something in the combo, then maybe you keep it. There's only one boar, for instance, but you've got so many ways of fetching it. That's how this deck is built when it's built this way, that you tend to throw them away and hope to find them later. Double test subject in here does help a little bit, though.
Yeah, just having that test subject that you can throw a power word shield on, it dies, you get that power word shield back. That's just more draw potential. It is going to get you closer to your combo. But something that's really important in this matchup, and you saw that Switzerland did just draw that Psychic Scream, that's something that both teams are going to be worried about. Psychic Screaming minions back into your deck is effectively going to be extremely bad for both of them. A, for the Topsy-Turvy Priest, because you are further away from your combo, but mainly for the Cthulhu Priest, because, well, you need to remove all the cards from your deck before you can actually play the combo.
So, for instance there, Romania hit into the opposing Blood Mage to do damage to their own minion, to try and get it nearer to dying, and then healed up the Blood Mage. Which means that it's less likely to die anytime soon, but it is going to be helpful with this Northshire Cleric now.
I mean, usually we are looking at that right-hand side of the screen. We're looking at how many cards each player has drawn, 20, 21, but realistically for Switzerland, they want to be finding that Hemet. They want to just destroy all these useless cards, because after you've played Hemet, it is just your combo pieces and Psychic Scream that are left for you to have. So that's what they'll desperately be searching for at the moment. Because the reality is, usually for the Mechathune Priest, if you get to turn 10, you have probably won.
And this is why my preference is for the Topsy Priest, because they both get their combo. The Topsy has to do it on turn 9 and Mechathune on turn 10, so it wins the draws, is how I see it. The drawn games go in the favour of Topsy. And also there is the added pressure. We have seen very good players, and I'm not going to name names because people know who it is, but I'm not going to name him every single time, mess up this combo, even though they've done it a million times in practice.
It is possible to mess up. Usually it's messed up when there are taunts in the way. That is probably not going to be the case from this Priest, as they can't actually offer any taunts to put in the way. They're not running anything like giggling, so it should be a fairly standard combo for Romania if they were to draw it. But that's the key, is actually drawing it. Certainly when I tested a lot of Topsy Priest, I was struggling to find all of my combo pieces early on. And you can see, look how much more heavily Switzerland have been able to draw through.
Sorry, cutting you off. They're going to overdraw Switzerland here. And there's a lot of combo pieces that you only have one piece of in the Mechathune. Make it stop.
You did it.
Deck.
Yeah, if you lose one of the combo pieces, it is extremely detrimental in this deck.
And we always say, well, imagine it's the bottom card. In these decks, you go all the way through to the end. So there was a chance there of just winning the game on the spot. And Switzerland, that's a wake-up call. They need that not to happen.
Oh. Well, that was close. But that's
as it happens, because they didn't get to burn a piece, they put them nearer the combo, which it was still correct to burn them, but they are now in a position where they're 2 cards nearer than they would have been, and no damage, no foul. But they also need to start emptying this hand, and all this hand does is draws cards. Not quite, but it's going to be a mess for them.
Yeah, it's about trying to navigate this hand as best as possible, so you don't put yourself in that position of overdrawing once again.
Yeah, don't play that one. Never go full Northshire.
Never indeed. I mean, I'm sure if you've played the Puzzle Lab at home, you would have had the experience to go full Northshire in the lethal puzzles. I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, they have looked really good, to be fair. I've only taken on one of them because Falk challenged me.
And you did pretty well.
I did all right, yeah. But other than that, I was busy playing ladder this morning. Just further enhancing my reputation as a really interesting kind of guy.
Oh, wow, they are just going to throw another Northshire Cleric on the board, but they're probably going to kill one off, I would imagine. Yeah. I think that is okay.
And they've emptied out enough of their hand that I don't think Spirit Lash and Heal is a threat. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is not indeed, so...
And you know your opponent isn't running any Circle of Healing, so you're not going to be punished by that. But Hemet still not here yet, although he could just be drawn turn 6 and then suddenly things get a little bit more comfortable. On the other side, how many combo pieces do we see then for RDU and
Nowhere
Romania?
near enough. Like, you tend to count how many he's missing, and the answer is plenty now. A little bit closer there. I imagine that RDU has assigned one of his teammates to just make sure that like the combo alarm goes off. Because we have seen players like 1 card short go for it or whatever.
Circle of Healing's pretty nice. You can start drawing through some cards.
No Psychic Scream for Romania here either.
You've also got the option, as Switzerland, if you want, to Psychic Scream minions back into Romania's deck now. But putting another Radiant, maybe not the best thing to do.
Maybe, but yeah, give them some garbage,
sure,
get a card out your hand. They need to empty something out.
And they need to play these Screams, yeah. They've got to do it if they want to win.
It's just like a ticking time bomb on either side. It's Indonesia taking a 2-0 lead against Greece. Pretty big deal, they're both 1 and 2, so the losers will be eliminated. Another way how the health totals just don't matter a jot in this game.
The worry is, because Hemet hasn't been found in like the opening half of the deck, you do have some of these low-end minions that are a little bit annoying, like Loot Hoarder, for example, might just draw an extra amount of fatigue a little later on when you're just trying to empty out your hand.
I wonder.
But Switzerland, they're finding their combo pieces, but ideally you want to be picking those up after you've played Hemet. And then it's just going to become a stall tactic, trying to stay alive here before Romania, because they're going to be scared now these next couple of turns, because Romania are getting closer and closer to the chance for them to actually have lethal.
Yeah, so they are going to rush it a little bit. There are only 6 cards left, though, so they're getting right to the point where they can do this. Still pretty awkward. And both decks are tricky in this situation. Wonder just how quiet they've told their teammates to be for both sides.
Shadow Visions can pick up another Spirit Lash. Silence works out nicely as well. Try and stop some of this draw from your opponent. Double Shadow Visions, get double Silence, and then go for Spirit Lash if you wanted to.
The hand size is also getting a little bit of a nightmare here, but yeah, these silences are beautiful. Emptying out some more space and just slowing everything down. Really good interactions here for them.
But I mean, we're not far off from the combo on RDU's side.
Getting very close.
And a Psychic Scream is a way to delay Switzerland as well here.
This is just like backwards Hearthstone. Try and give your opponent cards, you know, heal them up, make sure that... I don't even know anymore.
You do want to try and Psychic Scream maybe after Hemet though. Because if you were to Psychic Scream then, Hemet played or drawn, it just gobbles up those cards.
Yeah, and you know they're down to 5 cards, as you can plainly see in clear view. So, wait until that goes, then fill it back up a little bit. Buy yourself some more time. Of course, they are going to draw you some more cards when they're drawn, so it's not going to be that much time bought, but they won't need that much time. It's interesting, I thought this was going to be completely uninteractive, but there's quite a lot of nuance available here. Nuance which I must admit I'm not 100% familiar with, as this is a fairly rare matchup to see.
Some intricate decisions, that's for sure. Got to be thinking about how you can stop your opponent from drawing cards. The double silence from the Shadow Visions was fantastic from Switzerland.
And Switzerland are on this weird precipice as well, where they want to draw the cards, but they don't want to draw too many because their hand size has been a bit of a pest throughout this whole game. Again, already burning 2 cards. Luckily for them, they were just insignificant things. Otherwise, the game could have just ended on the spot there. It was a big mistake from them, I feel, to let that happen.
I mean, RDU's what, 2 cards off having the combo? Divine Spirit he needs, and he also needs another Radiant or another Vivid.
Yep.
Then he's there.
And then he is there, and then it's all about can he do it. Of course he can do it, and he has got 3 people to help him out if things go wrong.
Shadow Visions helps. That can get you your Divine Spirit.
Yep.
Or your Vivid. Depends which one you want to take.
So you might just wait until you draw one of them, then go for the other, but tend to find that goes a bit slow if you do it that way. But in theory, you can hold on to it until you draw one of them.
I mean, in theory, Vivid is more... I mean, you can play it in more situations, because you could actually play it onto a Death Rattle minion if you were really desperate to try and draw some cards.
But on the other side, you might just draw a Radiant anyway, so there's more chance of picking up a natural one. So you would go for the Divine if you went for it, but do you have any other plays? Well, the trouble is, with this deck, when you do start accumulating combo pieces, you sort of don't have any cards that do anything.
And I like keeping the Shadow Visions back as well, for a little bit more of a choice. You can draw another card next turn. You've also got the possibility to just have lethal with Shadow Visions. We have seen that with Topsy-Turvy Priest as well, where you know what spells are left in your deck and you can almost guarantee it. But Hemet finally picked up, although I don't even think you're killing off, you're destroying that many minions in your deck.
He's just been hunting in the jungle and he's probably come back empty-handed.
It's whether you're saving it as well, it's whether you're trying to bait out a Psychic Scream from your opponent. But there's nothing really you can play to try and do that.
Just quickly checking, make sure there's no sneaky inner fire or anything in the Priest. There shouldn't be, but it is a tournament deck. Sometimes people do sneaky things. There isn't.
The decision making now for Switzerland is, are we Psychic Screaming another Radiant back in? Are we just playing Hemet to get rid of, what is it, 1?
Yeah, you don't want to give them a Radiant, I don't think.
I think they're getting rid of 2 cards, so there's a Ticking Abomination left. Just 1 Ticking Abomination of the combo, so yeah.
And then they're good to commence the process.
But now if Romania do Psychic Scream everything back in...
Second Shadow Visions, yep. So they can go for both parts.
They can, and they can set up for a potential lethal next turn. Oh, but they miss both.
So do you take the power word shield, or do you take the second Topsy? Second Topsy can sometimes be good if your hand is a bit clunky, but it doesn't look like it will be clunky.
Or do you take the second Scream? Because your opponent is going to have to play those cards every turn, and you can just Scream, and then you've given yourself some extra time.
Yeah, you make your opponent sick, and not yourself.
I like it. However, if Hemet is drawn off the top, then Hemet does destroy the Radiant.
And if they did it again, I imagine they will...
But that's not Hemet.
Shadow Word Death into the Scream, just to get rid of the Hemet so it can't do that naughty thing that it does.
And this is, I mean, not exactly what we were expecting from both sides. We were saying, well, turn 10, Mechathune Priest can win.
It's a race.
Turn 8, we can see the turn 8 or 9, the Topsy Priest can win. But it's not been the case for either.
Yeah, I feel like RDU's had a really good grasp of how this match plays out.
Yeah, I mean, he's just stalling now, and both players are just scared. I mean, for Switzerland, it's more of the unknown. They don't know how many combo pieces are actually left for Romania. 14 cards still in their deck, so highly possible you could have half of the combo still in that. Whereas Romania, they know that if they manage to empty out their hand, they've just lost, so they can play around it more effectively.
Well, have it. Have that back. But I don't think I'll mind. So the pipe will affect the second test subject, which is not much use.
No, not at all, especially as you don't have those power word shields, and I mean, are your minions realistically going to be dying anyway?
It does thin out your deck, so it does do something. It's not entirely useless, but there may be better things you can do with your mana.
What?
Shame you can't play it and Psychic Scream it, really. Just give your opponents more stuff. Second test subject as expected.
There are now 3 Radiant Elementals waiting in RDU's deck.
Right.
Get me out of here! Get me out of here!
Just getting himself a bit of hand space.
Looks like it. Either that or somebody hasn't done their job and told him they're short of a card.
I know they were able to pick up another Vivid there. So that's really important. Now they find Divine Spirit and they've just have the combo available next turn. So they just win?
Looks like it. Well, sorry, there is no just when it comes to Topsy Priest, but they have the win in their hand. As long as he doesn't, like, fat finger it, which happens quite often.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen quite often to someone with RDU's skill, but to normal people. I mean, we're 0 for 1 on ever seeing... We've never seen the combo actually all in hand, but we have seen people think it's all in hand.
Yes. Yes, we have.
So we haven't actually seen the combo go off in a tournament environment yet, unless you count you versus Falk, which I don't.
No, definitely not a tournament environment. And, well, this is now go time for Romania, as they do have all of the pieces of the puzzle, and providing we don't see one of the better players in Hearthstone mess this up, this is going to be game 1 to Romania.
Keep my eyes firmly on the screen to see if he does get it wrong, but I don't see why he would. He will have done this a lot of times. He streamed this a lot of times. And the stony face of the team, they've obviously been told, do not speak while I do this combo. And I don't blame him.
I mean, it can go badly if you do start saying, oh, no, wait, you need to do this, or watch out for that.
Yeah.
The dangers of this combo are you can burn your topsy-turvy, and therefore you can't actually do the combo on your board, so you need to be very aware of your hand size and what you're bringing back to your hand. But judging by where these arrows are pointing, RDU is making sure that he's not putting too much on the topsy.
And they've done it. We're seeing it from Switzerland's side, so from where they're sat, it's like, oh, I wonder if we're going to get lucky here, but they've already had the high fives in the Romanian camp, and eventually we will see a boar go to face for 32 points. And possibly more, depending how much he decided to showboat.
And it looks like he's just gone the very simple route of 2 16-1 boars. And this was what I was saying. When you are faced with nothing else on the board, the combo feels relatively simple. Romania win the battle of the strange priests, as it were. As Lorinda is feeling smug in saying told you, but that wasn't either deck performing at their best, really, in terms of draw potential. The second Psychic Scream was really important, I feel, for Romania, able to just delay for that one extra turn. But it was kind of odd throwing back Radiant Elementals into your opponent's hand, but they were kind of forced. They had to.
Yeah, I felt that when we actually saw it play out against each other, the interaction